Hello everyone and welcome back to City Skylines, where we are building M.I.A.U, our modded City Skylines series. Welcome back to the channel. Last time here we were building a shopping malls district, but making it residential through the Rico mod. Lovely mod, that one. And this episode we're doing something special. A great content creator, Xucaboa, small community-based channel. I can't say great enough. He is, ay caramba, that's his catchphrase. He is flipping magnificent at building, and so I thought I'd try using his M.I.A.U method and for building in City Skylines. I will put a screenshot of the M.I.A.U method up on the screen right now because I could not recite it because it's got specific wording. I don't want to butcher it. I'll let you look at it. And we're going to be building an area based on this today. This area, the reason I chose this area is because it is very hilly, and that works well for M.I.A.U method. Lots of fun terrain changes, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can create. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can create. Yeah, I have done some preparation for this episode. So I've done all the tiers of terrain, and I've put in a basic road network just using our standard street, because I tend to build a road layout, then change the streets later. I need to stop moving the camera so much, it's just fun to touch controls, you know. I'm really excited to get into this, so why not start already? So, a key part of the M.I.A.U method is really the terrain and the height difference and the road. So the terrain, not the height difference. That's part of the terrain. Stupid me, my bad. What's it? Whoopsie daisy. Holy moly. And another big part is the main parts. Let's start again. Undeveloped area for nature. So we're just doing one part of the city, so we're not going to be doing too much undeveloped areas for nature, but we will be doing lots of landscaping in between the buildings. Another is the funky road network, which we've already done, and another part is different terrain. And so Xucaboa uses the M.I.A.U method in 100% vanilla, baby. So I'm very excited to see what we can get up to using the M.I.A.U method in modded City Skylines. Let's go. So I have a specific idea of how we're going to do the houses in this. We're going to start off lower blocks of flats, and we're going to actually build up to higher blocks of flats around the lake, and then go down again into the suburbs. So this is going to be so we are going to be crawling in height, but it's going to be emphasized by the hill. That's the idea, at least. I have practiced this a little bit, so I can confirm it works rather well. I also quite like my repeated assets, believe it or not. Here's some repeated assets. Here's some repeated assets. Here's some repeated assets. Here's some more repeated assets. Here's a load of repeated assets. Here's some more repeated. You get the picture. I like repeated assets. So, again, I'm going to try and stay away from repeated assets, but there are some patterns I just cannot resist. So, here's one of them. We're going to give a 1 unit spacing between each of these buildings. And that's just going to give us a really nice aesthetic. I'm actually going to avoid placing houses on this side. I think it's not at the front. I'd rather like have this, I don't know, it's kind of cliff, and then we can build something different over here, mid-century modern. I've told myself. That's good fun. I mean, obviously I can change it at whatever moment, but the reason I've chosen it is because that's what I want to do. And I do want to have, like, you know, on occasion, I want to have these kind of not repeated assets, but duplicate flats next to each other, just to create a sense of facility. And look, so I'm just going to scroll along in a time lapse and place the buildings where I see fit. And then we'll come back and talk about the detailing and what we're going to do with this dip in the middle. So, that was a lot of building plopping, and I must say I'm very happy with the placement of all the buildings. It's much easier to just put buildings in the right location when you can just demolish them and place them in another place because of the wonders of mods. However, there's still a lot to do in this episode. Managed to switch off the mic when I was making the bus lines, so you'll just see that in the time lapse. But it's okay. It's okay. We can live with it. And I'm quite liking how this area's come out. I think there's a right number of repeated assets versus lots of different stuff. It's like farm and elevation changes. So I want to do the U of M.I.A.U method next, and that is going to be undeveloped areas for nature, and we are going to put paths through some of these as well. So while I'm talking, I'm just going to plop in some paths. So with the undeveloped areas for nature, it is largely going to be in a time lapse, just because I don't like my episodes to be too long, believe it or not. I know it doesn't normally seem like that. Normally seems like I like my episodes to be like 5 hours long, but I assure you that's not the case. It just happens. I don't know when anyone suggested we want to be elevated by 2 meters, because it was wrong. Let's get these road guidelines off. They're not helping. And we want to, I think, so we're gonna wrap this area in. So, right, let's start that sentence again. I'm really struggling with my English today, aren't I? That's alright. And so, stop saying so, say something else. No. No, that's also a wrong word. Well, let's not act like that, path. Anyway, undeveloped areas for nature. So, we've got quite a large area over here, which we can fill with undergrowth. Over here, and over here we can create some nature reserve-y vibes. I can assure you that was just too high a land value, probably. Oi. I said reset. Thank you. And that's going to be good. I mean, it's going to have to be small animals. We can't exactly have loads and loads of large animals in this area, but we can still have nature reserves in the heart of the city. I know I said I would come back and talk about what we were doing in the middle, but I thought it's not that exciting. We're just plopping down a couple of piers and put in a nice lake. Obviously this needs a lot of detailing, as with everything else here. So yeah, basically what I'm saying is we've got a lot of detailing to do, and I might just quickly check on our bus lines. How are we doing? That's perfectly fine. And this line, that is not perfectly fine. We're going to need to up the vehicle count on that one quite a lot. It's quite a long line, so understandable, but yeah, as I said, lots of detailing to do, and we'll have a nice big detailing review. I may even do some voiceovers in the time lapse. It depends on how I'm feeling when I'm editing and what I can do. Occasionally I have to be fairly quiet because of the location of my room, this room, not my room, this room, the study room. So, but that is going to do me for talking for now. It's a very heavily time-lapse episode, which is why I'm thinking about doing some voiceovers in that time-lapse. And so yeah, that is going to be it for today. It for this talk. This talk was really just me talking about what was the rest of the episode without actually doing anything of value for you to watch. Metro is nice and busy. but it's fairly frequent now. We've got right, let's slow it down. So we've got 3 metros operating on this line, and this station was busy for a long time, and this station is busy. It fluctuates, Depends on whether we've got a game going on as well, which it appears we have if you see all the people wearing our lime green colour. It could just be people like lime green, because it's a bit of a mix, but I think that we do have a game in the huge stadium coming up. Don't worry, we will get a stadium for the capital. It'll be built over up here near the airport in our Olympic Park build. Ooh, bit of a teaser there. And yeah, detailing time. Hello, I'm back again. It's been, for me, a fair bit of time. I've done a fair bit of detailing, and I'm very happy with how it's going. This area, I think has come out very well. Maybe Xucaboa will turn up in the comments and tell me how he thinks I did, but that's wishful thinking. Well, probably not. He probably does. He follows like 500 channels, so. Anyways, so, detailing. I tried to keep it, not too crazy. I went, a lot of just filling in with overgrowth with the cliff edges, and even in between the buildings, for example, down here. So we'll start from the top tier, which is up here, and then we'll go down, and down, and down, and that's how we're going to do it. So this park, it's just kind of like green space, I've decided. It's just place to just go and chill, I think. Sunbathe, maybe. Oh, bit of a jumpy game. So yeah, coming down here, we've got a lovely, just a bit of overgrowth. But this is where I did the most detailing, and I created gardens. And I have a couple of things to tell you about gardens, and I feel like I say them every episode. I'll slow the game down a bit. Gardens change so much in my cities. As soon as I add the fences, everything gets a lot better, and then you start creating these little unique spots of land, and I just love the landscaping aspect of it. Every garden can be a bit unique. There's some gardens are like kind of ignored, some gardens are looked after like crazy, some gardens are overgrown, and oh, sorry, that was a jumpy game. Autosave, that's why. We've got lovely rhododendrons, whatever we want to see, you know, and even incorporating park life assets into these. I just love making gardens. I see the bench clipping. I'll sort that out after the time lapse. I'm not doing that now. Not time lapse, after the review. And then it's just got the most overgrown, ignored garden ever for this block of flats. Anyway, and I have left some spots of green space, like around here, where people can just go and chill. Not all cities. The cities don't always have everything. Not every spot of land in a city is always full. I think that's so important for me to remember. I often forget that, and like, oh, there's this bit of empty space, I have to fill it. Anyway, so we've got some nice overgrowth coming along here, and just green space in between these buildings, give them about breathing room. Lots of blocks of flats and very dense trees around these mansionettes. They're proper mansions at that point. And coming over here, we have got our elementary school. I didn't do much around schools this episode. There's an element of not much space for this playground. I will dot in some trees around it, but by this point, I should do that now. Well, I'm talking about detailing the schools. So I have hold myself to account that everything in my city must make sense to a degree. I must make a reason for something. But that means that every school has to have detailing, and I'm fine with that. That's how I play. I would not enjoy it if not every school had detailing, because then that school would stick out to me as something that, you know, ugh, that's wrong. But I get kind of like, you know, I'm not that into detailing schools, but you have to do it every episode. And I know no one's forcing me. I'm forcing myself, so that's down to me. But the reason I don't necessarily put so much time and effort into every school is just because don't want to. Oh, I need to get rid of that. That is something I need to get rid of. Holy moly. So yeah, overgrowth is a massive recurring theme in this thing. But I think it just sits in so well, that overgrowth amongst the buildings. And we do use mainly high density vanilla assets, because that's what Xucaboa mainly uses in certainly a lot of the M.I.A.U method areas. Obviously you've got some lower density stuff, but it is often towers, medium density kind of stuff. Just come along here with some park life assets. Guess what? Bulldozer time. Whoopsie daisy. Oh, the park chessboard was added in as a bit of an afterthought. Haven't detailed along here. Haven't quite worked out what I'm going to do in this area. That's for another episode. But I kind of just put the buildings in to line the street, and this street looks really nice. I do love the wall-to-wall buildings. I think for residential there's a bit of a lack of variety in the assets. It's basically all the different types. Whereas there's more fun shapes and stuff in the other commercial and office. Come around here, just a little bit of a gazebo area. Oh, a bit of a jumpy game again. With obviously access to the keys, and that just happens on occasion when the overgrowth is going up too much. And we've just got this pattern again, just like leaving a bit of green space is okay. It's a bit of like place to run, you know, and not everything has to be full. Although I will admit that should probably have a nice, it would be filled in with concrete and should be. Sometimes I miss parts, and that's fine. I think you're never completely done with the city. And of course we've got our cycle super highway in. We continued it along, so we come along this road. So we kind of weaved our way up the hill. It's not the most direct route, but I don't want to interfere with bus lanes we've got along here. So that's the best we're going to get. People can cycle along bus lanes anyway in real life, so think about it. Anyway, I just put him in this path to remind me of what I want to do. Coming along here. This pond is looking very nice. Dropped in a bunch of pier assets from Bridges and Piers and Park Life. We've got just a bench and horse chestnut pattern. This should go away eventually, the ground ruining. At least most of it. So don't worry about that for now. And I think these Bridges and Piers, simple piers, oh, excuse me, are just flipping wonderful. Like, they're just so cute. They're just like, nothing's extravagant, and it's perfect. Some lovely rhododendron and linden patterns along the station, just to fill in those empty spaces, and they just frame the station really well, I think. Well, how many people get off the train? Next to no one. Well, that's great, isn't it? And around here, just put in some concrete around the hospital. That's normally what you get around hospitals, in my experience. You get some parks, but often, and gardens, but it's not really space for that here. It's quite a small urban hospital. Coming along here, it's just like really overgrown, but it's a walkable quay, so people can walk along here. Got a rock in, and you know, I haven't really detailed the edges because I don't really know what's going there. I tend to avoid doing that. But this is just like overgrown, really big stuff, which is a bit of a stark contrast to the high density developments around here, and it's an interesting aspect of the way this area has come together, I'd say. A lot of constraint over here with the school playgrounds, so I did just kind of dot in some fences, but to make up for that, I have actually just shoved in a football field. Football pitch, not field. This isn't America, people. This is England. Well, the city isn't based on anywhere. I'm from England. There. That'll do. And I love this vanilla high residential asset. It's just so good because it I don't know. It's just really nice asset. Everything about it's great. This one's a bit meh, but it's good to have variety. And goodness, I went a bit over. Well, I didn't go overboard, but this is where I really made it like really nice, because you got from here you have got the best view of the river in pretty much the whole city, probably, because you're a bit raised, and these gardens are raised up even more. So I've done a lot of landscaping around here. We've got some bench presses. Oh, bit of a jump. Oh, a bad jump. I should probably find out where the jumps are coming from. Shouldn't be having jumps. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. This I felt like the bench presses worked well with this asset. And this is probably my favourite part of the whole thing, apart from maybe the top tier. Just some what's it called? A food truck, food eating place.com. Kind of what's it thingy, mabobber. Just surface painted in some of the gaps, and that's really gonna be it. Another thing to note is off camera I lowered this metro station. It was bugging me the gradient of this, so I went and searched up, because we're using DLR units, what the steepest grade on the DLR is, and it's 6%, so I've allowed myself a little bit more, so we've gone for 6.7% on here. But that did result in us having to lower the station, which creates a new aspect of height, which is nothing I'm against. And it's interesting, you know. And we've actually had to put this underground. I'll sort out that later, maybe, because that's just ridiculous. I'll move the road and let the ground come up above it. Anyway, but this will be interesting. I don't know what we're going to do here. We might just do some green cities. But over here, probably some offices. We'll see, because this is slated to be the green cities area. I think, so, well, I know that we're going to have the airport over here. And we're probably going to build our Olympic Park over here. So yeah, probably green cities is right along this way. And then, I don't know, office over, industrial over here. We'll see when we come to that. But that's not a problem for right now. Why is the game so jumpy? That's very odd. It's being very jumpy at the moment. There will be an update day. So I'm recording this quite far ahead. The update will have come out by the time I upload this video. But fingers crossed that the game won't break, you know. Because I am really loving the new New It's definitely the best city I've ever built. Although that's not exactly a high bar. So, without further ado, also let's just say, look at that height. It's just great. Without further ado, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Please do consider commenting and subscribing, because it really helps the analytics, as I'm sure most of you watching know already. Thank you for all the support. I know I said this in my last Transport Fever video. Looking forward to Transport Fever next week as well. Thank you so much for all the support on last New Vault episode. I really did not expect it. Fingers crossed we get the same support on this one. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. Cheerio. So, one last thing I forgot to do quickly was name this area. I've actually had a request for this area name. And no, it's not Xucaboa. Don't worry, Xucaboa. I have something planned for you later on. So, be ready for that, maybe. This is going to be named for a good friend of mine, Kylo Logie 64. And we're going to call it Mount Logie. And because we've had not that many name suggestions, name requests, he's going to get quite a large area. Give me a sec. Lag! Oi! Oh, is there a key? Is there a key I can't press? Yeah, I can't press Shift L. Well, I'll press Cap Locks then instead. Very well. It'd be nice if I was typing. Probably spelled that wrong. It'd be nice if I was typing, the keybinds would all go away. You know? I'm not trying to open Forest Brush, I'm trying to type. Anyways, the reason I did this in the dark is because I realised I forgot to really show you in the dark, and holy moly, does it look really cool. I'm very, very happy with how this area has come out. That is just so nice, especially with the Twin Peaks and the lake. The lake is just, yes. Everything, just yes. I'm very happy with this area. So I'll say thank you very much for watching again, and once again, cheerio.